Hey guys, I hope this work. I've never used the Filmic Pro app before, which is pretty neat. But on the subject of George Floyd case, well, I guess the Derek Chauvin trial, he was found guilty, and the whole trial, my inbox has been flooded. People want to know my opinion on being a Black American man in the United States, and people wanted to know my opinion on being in true crime. They wanted me to go over every single detail of the trial, and everybody's hitting me up now, asking me how I feel. And people have been shocked that I have been so laid back or not even talking about it. And just to make this quick, while I'm editing a video for you guys to come out tomorrow, um, if you have been following my YouTube channel, if you look at around the Tatiana murder by the police officer, and you look around, I think it's sort of around like December 2019. If you look around that time, just go back on my channel, and I made all of these videos, and I went live about the Amber Geiger trial, the Amber Geiger sentencing. And it really hit me hard with the Philando Castile, um, the trial, Officer Yanez being found not guilty. And I tried to explain to people, especially friends I have of different ethnicity than my own, that when you grow up as a Black American male, um, these things happen a lot. One example that I used was a YouTuber was saying that the media drives race relations when they post things like this and make it seem like it's a lot. And I thought that was very ignorant of that person to say, because they're saying that these are few incidences. But when you are a Black American male, when you grow up in America, those that they show is just a small example of what's been going on our whole life that you all have not seen. So when you grow up with that mindset and no one hears your voice, and now finally people are starting to recognize from these cases that are being shown by the media. Just a small little example of a lot. And then 9 times out of 10, these people are found not guilty. What it does to you is you're automatically programmed to never get your hopes up high. I don't want to watch trials like this, so I didn't watch the trial for Derek Chauvin. I think I may have watched 15 minutes, one guy testimony from another YouTuber's channel. But I didn't wasn't glued to my TV. I was doing so much other things in life, because you get programmed that they will be found not guilty. That helps you, because if they are found guilty, it's all good news. But it doesn't hurt you when the 9 times out of 10 that they are found not guilty. I was speaking to a friend of mine this morning, and I told my friend that I can name off the top of my head with the snap of my finger a bunch of cases like this where the person is found not guilty, like we just said with Officer Yanez and Philando Castile being an example. I can name a lot of these off the top of my head. And I asked this person, can you name me where they're found guilty? I can name Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman trial. I can name even going back to Rodney King. I can name where they're going to be not guilty, because that's all we see. So when you see the incident occur, you get upset. If that person gets arrested and goes to trial, you don't really care to watch. I don't know none of the details that you all know. And now that he's been found guilty, that's awesome. That's great. I think about George Floyd's daughter. But when you start thinking about what you want this country to do as far as making a change on how we see each other, because it's in how we view each other, that is the real issue. And you can't ever get to that because someone wants to debate to you the subjectiveness of if someone is a racist or not. I can get somebody in a Klan's outfit, all white on, saying that they don't like Black Americans. And someone can argue the subjectiveness that they're not racist. That's how it is. And so you'll be arguing forever. So we can't get to the point of how we see each other. They'll argue with you, is Amber Geiger racist? And you argue back, he missing the focus. Did she pull out her gun quick enough and automatically assume he's a murderer in her own apartment simply because he was a black man, as we see black American men in this country, especially being a police officer on the job? What does that do to your brain? That's an issue. So, me, great news that he's found guilty. Derek Chauvin is found guilty. But right when he's found guilty, I do finally go online and I look at different people's chats and everybody's live, and nothing's changed. It's still divisive. Nothing at all has changed. So people still argue this is unfair. He didn't have a fair trial. People are very, very upset. Some people are very, very happy. So what ends up happening is when I get upset that someone gets off and I think that they should have been found guilty, it was clear as day. If I argue that after the trial, then people will say they had their day in court. They had their day in court. Shut up whining about it. Okay. All I say, I don't want to talk about this. I'm moving on with my life because there's nothing to talk about. Derek Chauvin had his day in court. If you think that there's nothing wrong with the system that we have in the United States, he had his day in court. He was found guilty. There's no reason for me to go back and forth with you about. There's nothing in that trial I need to debate with you about. If we're just going to pretend that this is a perfect system, and the 9 times out of 10 when someone's get let off, I can't say anything because they had their day in court. You guys got to eat your own medicine. He had his day in court. He's found guilty. There were some things that I saw on television of people crying and so happy that he was found guilty, and about how we see each other in the country. That did make me happy because it came from other ethnicities, and that's always a good thing to see, especially when you think that you're fighting a fight alone, because no one really knows how bad it is. They don't really know how bad it is. And maybe one day I'll share some of these things with you on my channel, or just take you some of the things that has happened to me in my life. But I'll post my video on Tatiana below. If you haven't seen that video, I think you guys should watch it. I don't just talk about what happened to her. I run through a list. Very, very powerful video you guys should check out. And I'm going to go back to editing my next true crime case to come out tomorrow. But that's my thoughts on it, The other 3 officers will go to trial. I won't watch a single minute, second of it. I'll go on living my life, and whatever happens, happens. So I'll see you guys soon. And don't kill, make a sandwich.